Good afternoon, everyone. This is Reverend Kid Holmes. It is Wednesday. That means it is time for One Mind Wednesday. It is July 17th, 2024. Welcome once again. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she asked about knowing the difference or discerning the difference between when intuition or our higher self or spirit or God or whoever is giving us guidance, and when we are maybe in our ego or trying to control things. It really want to just be clear on our guidance. And my initial answer was that there is always a subtlety to intuition. It's not ever a frantic thing. Unless you're in kind of an emergency situation, and then you get a big look out kind of thing. You kind of sense something might be coming immediately before something really big you need to listen to. But in general, I'm going to back that up a little bit and break it down, is the guidance is always subtle. And it's the next part of the answer that I wanted to give. The conversation took a different turn, but was that we don't get the big picture. That's the thing. It's like when we go into meditation or we go into prayer, we do our visioning, we do all of these things to say, okay, I'm looking for guidance, I'm looking for guidance. We tend to, our human selves tend to go to this place of the bigger picture, like, here's the answer, here's what you're aiming for, this is it. Now you have a direction, now you go. Trust me, I've been many times in that place and say, just tell me how it all is going to work out, and then I'll do the stuff, right? But it's subtle, so it comes in the next step that we need to know. I have a colleague who lives by the saying that Spirit works with me on a need-to-know basis. In other words, we get the next step. Martin Luther King has talked about this very famous quote about we don't get to see the whole staircase, we get to see the next step. It is that place of, okay, here is the guidance for this particular moment. Here's the intuition, here's the thing. It's very, very subtle. And if we agree with it or we take it in and we take an action step on it, then we get to see the next step. And it's like, no, that's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. It feels like it's not fair, but here's the thing. If we follow the little pieces, the little nuances, the little hint, the little nudge, what ends up happening, I'm going to give you the example of a big, scary, look out, look out, look out, like you're coming into an intersection and somebody's run a red light, okay? If we back that up and we think about the number of times that the direction we go to the store, we go to work, wherever it is on our journeys, we get used to going in a certain way. We make a left turn here, da-da-da-da-da, et cetera, et cetera. We kind of get an idea. We get used to the way that we do things. On a particular day, you may get that little nudge that says, okay, today, turn left instead of right, or go this way instead of the way you usually go. If you agree with it, if you say, okay, well, I'm paying attention, I'm going to try this, you may see immediately or somewhere way down the road what it was that moved you in a different direction that day. You may not ever think about it, but it's the more that we play with that, the more we trust it. We take the left instead of the right, and maybe we end up in where we were intending to go at the same time, whatever. On those days where it's more like, oh, I'm in a hurry, the thing, it might be a little more pronounced, that little piece of intuition. It's still subtle. And we say, but today I'm in a hurry, I'm running late for work, I'm not going to turn left and turn right. Well, we go our usual way, and then what do we find? We find something like a traffic jam, or there's been a wreck, or there's a train, and we're going to be late for work anyway. Whereas if we had turned left and gone the other way, perhaps we would have avoided it. Sometimes we see it, like I said, immediately, sometimes we don't. But it's the idea that we continue to build that muscle, and it is a practice of listening to the thing even when it doesn't make sense. And remember, like I said at the beginning, it is not a big picture if you turn left today, your life's going to change immediately, and all these things are going to float down from the heavens, and you're going to be happy and fulfilled and all these things. It may happen that way. It may be happening that way because you took the steps and you listened to things prior. So when that day comes and you go left instead of right, wow, there it is. Unmistakable. Okay? So that's the difference. If you hear something that is critical, that is judging you, if the voice is saying, do this, do this, do this, that's not intuition. That's your ego or your inner critical parent. Okay? It is always subtle. It is always gentle. It is always loving. And it is never going to steer you wrong. So it is the practice of going with the flow, listening to it, listening for clues, practicing meditation, quieting your mind, being still for a day, just turning off all the distractions that you can, and simply ask. I mean, we do that all the time. We ask for guidance, don't we? It's not going to come usually. It is rarely going to come in the way that you think it should or the way you want it to, because that is working from ego. So, your assignment this week, pay attention. Pay attention. Just listen, pay attention. Not only pay attention, but when you get one of those little nudges, follow it. Follow it. See what unfolds. All right. This is Reverend Kit Holmes. I will see you again next week on One Mind Wednesdays. Thank you for sharing these videos. Thank you for subscribing to them on the YouTube channel. The address for the archives of all of these posts are in the description here. And thank you again. Thank you for being here. Remember, we are all a part of the one mind, which means we are all in this together. So, what's the saying? Kindness matters, and love is the only answer. And I love you all dearly. I will see you again next week. Have a good one.